Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game from one of our favorite designers, duBarry, and it's called Rice Dice. Spirits of the Rice Paddy, the dice game. Rice Dice is a 1 to 5 player game. There is solo rules in here. Good on you. Where players are trying to have the best paddy to grow the most rice the quickest. Essentially what you're doing is you're rolling some dice. You're trying to use the faces of these dice to either plant rice, harvest rice, pull weeds, water your paddy, let water out of your paddy, or get cards to make your paddy bigger. That's the gist of it. You're trying to be the first person to hit 100 rice. That's enough explaining it. Let's go down to the table, see how it looks. All right, so here's a game of rice dice, all set up for 2 players. To set up, you're going to give each player a random starting paddy card, which looks like these. The difference is they're each one of the 5 spirits. I believe there are 5 spirits. And the starting paddy is going to be start planted, which is what this little token right here is representing. You could put 3 of them on there if you want to, but it's going to be dirt, so you're going to know when it's planted if you do that. And then you're going to give each player a player color, and you're going to put one of your player colors over there on the 0 space of the board. You're going to start with tin water in the reserve, and you're going to put into the reservoir water based on the number of cards. So these each have 1, so you're just going to get 1 water. And then we're going to get rolling. So first player, we'll just make this player. Then what you're going to do in your turn, you're going to roll your dice. You're going to get 1 free re-roll on your dice, your die rolls. You're going to have some actions to pick from, which I'll show you right now. So you're going to roll the dice. All right. So question marks, as you would think, could be wilds. So they will be wilds. Now I have these actions that I can do right here. I can do water. Water means I can take, based on however many actions I have, so I would have 3 water. I could take 3 water from the reservoir to put into my paddy. I don't need any paddy because my paddy's already planted, and in order to harvest I need to not have water in it. Same with this player, so I don't want to do the water. I can take a card action, which means I could draw this many cards and keep 1 and put it to this side or this side of my paddy, left or right. I was confused because I was sitting on the side. Or, and then discard the others. Or I can do a 3 worker action, which what you can do with your workers is you can take weeds out, which sometimes you may get a little weed in your paddy that looks like that. 1 worker can take a weed out. Or you can spend 1 worker per hex, so I have 3 hexes here, to harvest and get points, which is the action I'm going to take. So I'm not going to take my other die roll. I'm actually going to just use 3 workers. I'll do a 1, 2, 3 harvest, and then I get 10 points. And that's my turn. Then it goes to the other player. All right, so they have weeds. They're actually going to keep weeds because I'm going to show you some stuff that goes down there. They're going to keep these, but they'll roll this guy. All right. Let's see. They're going to do the workers as well. So they have 3 workers. Well, 5 workers technically, but they can only do 3 things. So they're going to harvest as well. They'll get 10 points. And now, they rolled weeds. Whenever you roll a weed, or however many weeds you roll, all other players are going to get affected with weeds. So in this case, 1 weed will go in my paddy. Each paddy can only hold 2 weeds. So in this case, that one's halfway filled with weeds. So now in a future turn, in order for this player to be able to harvest at full value, they can have to pluck this weed, or they can harvest with 1 weed for $2, 2 points a wheat, rice, whatever. Or if it has 2 weeds in the field, you only get $2. So you'd want to get these weeds gone if at all possible. So now that was their turn. Now we're coming back here. All right, so I want to get some cards. So that's what I'm going to do right now. But I want to roll because I want to try to get some weeds into the neighbors. No weeds, but now I get to draw 3 cards because I have 2 question marks and a card. So I will show them up to you so you can see them. All right, so the cards are going to look like this. They're basically going to be different variations of what I have. So like this one has 4 hexes that I have to harvest. And they're each going to have different abilities, and they're going to bring different amounts of water into the reservoir. So I'm going to actually take this one. I'm going to take this. I'll take this one. So this is going to be a dishonorable gift. I get 5 points every time I add weeds to an opponent's field. That's pretty nice. Now I can put that on this side of my current paddy or on the other, and I will actually put it on this side. No reason, I just wanted to put it there. Then the other cards that I drew will just be discarded. And now it will be orange player's turn. All right, so they want to get some water. So they're gonna use these for sure. They'll re-roll these. Oh, and when I brought that one out, I would have also put another water into the active reservoir here. So now they're gonna be giving me a weed. So I'll take that. I'll put it on this paddy. And then they're gonna do 3 water. All right, so what they can do here, water has 2 different functions. So whenever someone takes a water action, every player who has water in their field can release water. So say I had 3 water in this field, I could then release that water either to this field so it can start to get planted, or I can put it out back into the reservoir. No one has any water, so that stage is irrelevant. So this player gets to take 3 water. They're gonna take the 3 water that are here, and they're gonna get to put them in their field, right like this. You don't have to put it on there, you can just put it up at the top so you know that you have the water. And now they're gonna be ready to plant on another turn. I took my weed, so now we're back to my turn. All right, I want to get some water, but there isn't any water, which is no bueno. So I will just, I'll use those for workers maybe. I want to get some weeds. All right, so this player is going to get a weed. And because of this power, score 5 points for each weed I add to opponent's paddies. So I added a weed, so now I get 5 points. All right, now for this action, what do I want to do here? I don't want to waste that to pluck. I'm actually going to take more cards. So I want to draw 3 more cards. I'm going to try to get my paddy. You can have 4 paddies. Once you get 4, then you have to start replacing. So I'm actually going to do this one. It's a 2. And if you harvested this turn, you get to score 5 points. So if I harvest at all, I get 5 extra points, which is pretty slick. I'm going to put that in the front of my line. And then the other 2 cards I drew get discarded. Now we're to the other player. Ooh, making a mess. All right. Let's see here. So they're going to slam me with some weeds for sure. And they're going to keep these 2, and they'll see what they get here. All right. So I'm getting 3 weeds. So that's going to fill up 2 of my paddies with weeds, and then this one. No bueno. All right, but now they have 3 workers. All right, so another thing a worker can do is they can plant. In order to plant, you have to have water equal to the hexes. So this is 3 hexes, this is 3 water. So they're going to be able to plant their field with 1 worker. Now, on a future turn, they got to drain their water, and then they can harvest with the workers. And I got my weeds, and that's it. Back to me. All right, I need to get some water real bad. So I think they're gonna wanna release, so I'm gonna roll with it. So I'm gonna do this, keep that weed. All right, so I'm going to do these. I'm gonna do water actions. Oh, and when this one came out, there would have been another water available. So there's 4 water total available. All right, so they're gonna release, because whenever someone takes a water action, everybody can release. So they're releasing back to the reservoir. Now I'm gonna take 3 water, and I'm going to put it in, I'll go to this one. You have to either fill one completely or you lose the water. So I'm going to just bypass these 2 and just fill that one. So I have 3 water here. And they're going to get a weed because I rolled a weed. All right. Now it's Orange's turn. So they can harvest right now. They'll give me my last weed. All right, so I'm getting my last weed. And let's see, they're gonna harvest. They need 2 to clean the weeds, so we'll do that. And then, oh, I only have 4. Dang it. All right, so I'm gonna harvest with 1 weed in the field. So I'll get rid of this one. And then I'm gonna use these 3 to harvest the field. Harvesting that with 1 weed gives me 4 points. So instead of getting 10, I get 4, which is not as good, but it's all right. All right, and that is their turn. So I'll play through a couple more turns just so you can kind of see what's going on. I want to plant, so I'm going to take these guys. I'd like to be able to get, okay, there we go. I'm going to keep all that. All right, so I'm going to do some weeding. So I will weed, well, those are 2 guys. So I'm going to weed here. Then I'm going to use these 3 to plant here because it's flooded. So these weeds go away. And that was my turn. This player will then go. And they harvested. They want to try to get a field. Another card. Ooh, okay, sweet. So they're going to get to draw 4 cards. And they'll keep 1. I'll just show you which one I'm going to keep. Makes life easier. I like this one. So I'm going to keep this 5 paddy. If I ever roll 3 question marks, I get 10 points. And I'm going to put this one behind this one because it's harder to fill. So I'll do that. And I'll discard the other 3. All right, you're going to keep going like this until somebody hits 100 points right down here on the nice little Rice scoring track. At that point, the game immediately ends, and that person is the winner. So yes, that is Rice Dice. Let's go to the top, see what you think about it. All right, well, that was Rice Dice. First off, let me say, Philip duBarry is a friend. He's from Ohio. We're from Ohio. He's been on the podcast a couple times. We've interviewed him. He's done a cool like game shout out segment in our podcast. So I'm probably maybe swayed a little bit because he's a buddy to not say anything bad about this. But even if he wasn't, there wouldn't be too much to say bad about this because this game is very fun. So this is essentially the baby brother of this guy. So the reason I was excited to play this, which I guess I should show it up, I keep referencing it, this game. The reason I was excited to play Rice Dice is because I've tried to play this multiple times and I just can't quite figure it out. But the premise and the theme is amazing. I managed to fumble my way through that one time. I'm not sure if I played it right, but what I played, the way I played it, it was enjoyable. But Rice Dice basically takes this theme, crams it down into this little compressed package, lets you roll some dice and have some fun, and makes it a race. I like games where you're trying to be the first person to achieve a goal. So let me tell you about what I like about this game. So what I like about this game is it's really easy to play and you don't get bogged down with things you can do in your turn. So as you saw in the overview, on your turn, you're going to do one of, I think, 3 things: water, workers, or cards. That's it. With workers, though, there are 3 different actions you can take. But then even then, sometimes you're limited because you may not be able to take a couple of the actions because you may not have weeds, or you may have water, or you may not have water. So that's going to limit you. So you're not going to be bogged down with AP on a turn. You're going to be like, hey, I got 5 workers. I need to plant these fields. So I'll plant these fields. Or hey, I have 6 workers. I have 3 weeds. I have 3 hexes. I'll just not kill those 2 birds with 1 stone. Pretty cool. Another thing I like is I like the way that the game is mean, not just to one player, but to everybody. So in a 2-player game, when you roll weeds, the other player just gets hit with those weeds. But in a multiplayer game, when you roll weeds, everybody else gets hit with the weeds. So you're not just picking people to, you know, like single them out. You're slapping everybody around, and that's cool. Still, that's not as mean as Revolution, which Philip also did, and that game is mean. But getting weeds in your plant when you're in your paddy when you're just about to harvest is obnoxious. It can take you from 10, like you saw in the overview, from 10 rice down to 4 rice for having 1 stupid weed in there. So that's rough. So yeah, this is a really fun game. I'm glad that I have it. It's going to stay in my collection. It scratches that same itch as Spirits of the Rice Paddy, I think, because like I said earlier, I don't know if I played this 100% correctly, but it scratches that same itch and it plays in less than half the time. And Spirits of the Rice Paddy can play solo as well, but the solo on this is pretty straightforward and simulates a game pretty well, so that's fun. So I'm going to give this a BGM accepted seal. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 on BGG, so 4 out of 5 wrenches for our scale. That means absolutely nothing. So yeah, that might be a little higher than normal because PDB's a buddy, but I don't care. We can do what we want. It's our channel. How about that? So my video, my rules. Shout out PDB. So yeah, that was Rice Dice from APE Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.